Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey friends, will you join me for just a minute and imagine how amazing you'd feel living the unique and distinct life that you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, and places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it makes a very happy life. And so can my friend Shirley Billigmeier. And she's here to share her unique and distinct journey to her life of significance. But before bringing her on, I'd like to share a poem that we created to thank her for being our guest star today. It's called A Feast for the Soul, and it goes like this. With Innergetics, Shirley shows us the way to mindful eating every day. No guilt, no strain, no willpower fight, just respect for the body, a path to light. She teaches abundance, a shift of the mind, where losing the weight is freedom defined. No yo-yo diets, no fleeting trends, just lasting health where joy transcends. Hear her wisdom, let her inspire to honor your body, to spark your fire. On something significant, her journey unfolds, a tale of abundance more precious than gold. Hey, Shirley, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. And I loved your poem. It's the first time I've heard that. You did, I enjoyed that because bottom line, eventually it's the joy from within. Because what I give to my clients, and hopefully the audience can pick up some really strong tools here, because imagine if you never had to worry about what you were eating, what you weighed, frustration with all of it, and all of that energy was put into really living your life, because that's what I do for my clients. I show
So,
them that there's a way that you don't need to worry about all of this, and your creative soul can then surface because you don't have all of that frustration.
yeah, very good. Well, so tell us what you're doing these days to make your mark. And I think there's three areas I'd like you to just to briefly cover so our audience knows what you do before we delve into why and how and what. So energetics, your book, and the Rapunzel project. You give it
Yeah.
the Rapunzel project. Give us like a minute on each of those.
Yeah, with energetics, it's basically showing people how to have a permanent solution to all eating and weight issues where they never have to worry about it without drugs, because we were not meant to have extra storage because that's for a famine. So I basically teach people with energetics how to really free themselves so that they never have to worry about that. And the other piece that I do with my nonprofit is when I had gone through breast cancer, that was really fascinating for me because I discovered that there was a way to not lose your hair. And I
Hmm.
thought, if I have to go through this, I don't want that side effect. And so therefore I ended up I ended up discovering coal caps. And so when people would go through it, they didn't have to lose their hair. So we created the Rapunzel Project, Lady with the Hair. So, and also during that time that I was going through it, I could really listen to the wisdom of my own body. And that's when I realized, oh my word, everybody needs this. Everybody needs to know how they can really listen to their body, but it all kind of tied together and it
Yeah.
all ended up benefiting everything that I was doing.
So energetics is the coaching program, but you also have a book. Does the book cover the same basics?
The book, which I published way back in 91, and the
Hmm.
head of the Eating Disorder Clinic wrote the foreword, Dr. Michael Jensen. And with that book in 91, I wrote from my gut brain. And there wasn't anything that I would really change at this point now because I was writing from within my gut brain. And the gut brain wasn't even recognized by the medical community until the late 90s when Dr. Michael Gershon named it the enteric brain. But it's where all your eating boundaries are: hunger and taste.
Very good. All right, Shirley. So that's what you do. Now let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the world can get to know you through our happy formula that goes like this. It's simple, but it's really powerful. It's power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power. What are your personal practices for building up all the power that you need to get things done, whether that's physically or mentally or financially, spiritually, emotionally? In other words, Shirley, what do you do on a regular basis to create the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
Well, that's a mouthful.
Hmm.
I make sure I'm physically fit, and I really listen to my body because it really all comes down to that. Because the wisdom of your own body will guide you. It guides you as to how much energy you have. It guides you if your soul is hurt. It guides
Hmm.
you if you're not mutually having that respect with yourself and with others. So that whole wisdom that I tap into really guides you to have all of what you have just described.
Hmm. Very good. So, and you're tapping into your body. How does that, what are the top two, three, four things that you do to fuel your power?
I can feel if I'm hungry, that's really crucial. And that
Hmm.
hunger is a really good thing. It was a gift at birth. We were given the eating boundaries at birth, hunger and taste. And when
Hmm.
you're hungry, that's just a signal that says when you have time to really sit and enjoy your food, really absorb it, absorb the pleasure of it. There's no angst in eating, absorb the
Yeah.
pleasure of it. So that's the hunger piece. Your body also tells you if you're tired. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much wisdom. And would you believe that there's 9 messages to one from the gut to the head versus the head to the gut? So
Hmm.
if you're not listening to that incredible wisdom of the body, that creative soul that we were given at birth, you're missing a lot of information. But that's how I can stay connected. That's how I can stay energetic. That's how I can stay connected to my clients so that they really own their space. So I never get drained from this because it's an exciting journey to
Yeah.
watch them really free themselves up and have more time to really live their life.
Well, one more thing on this, because you mentioned something. So I've discovered there's a difference between earthly energies like physical fitness, mental fitness, financial fitness, and spiritual energies like love. Love is a spiritual energy. And earthly energies are finite. When you use them, you have to replenish them.
Mhm.
Spiritual energy is infinite. The more you use it, the more you have. You don't get drained. You said, I don't get drained. So explain your understanding of the difference between finite earthly energies and infinite spiritual energy, and then your understanding of the gut and its wisdom.
Yes, we are human beings on this earth. That determines how much physical energy we have. That's our physical energy. And it's finite. You need to replenish it or
Mhm.
you're going to be exhausted, you're going to be drained, and you're not going to enjoy the moments. And
Right.
so it's really important to really listen to the body as to how much physical energy you have. The spiritual energy, that connection to your creative soul, and when you're really doing what you love to do and you're helping people to guide them there, it's infinite amount of energy. People say, how do you not get drained working with all the
Yeah.
people you work with? I said, because I'm connected to my soul and I teach them how to connect to their soul and I
Yeah.
surface the joy. So a mutual respect of joy. And when they feel any kind of discomfort in their gut, we figure it out because there's always
Mhm.
a reason. There's always a reason, and it's a message coming from the body, and that's what's
Yeah.
important to listen to.
Yeah, you said that we were born with this knowledge of how to eat and this wisdom that comes from the gut. Would you take it as far as to say that that is really there's a supernatural spirituality coming through there?
Yes, without a doubt. When you think
Mm.
of an infant, when an infant is born, first they're born, they breathe. That's the connection. That's a deep connection to our human being on this earth. We're alive on earth.
Mhm.
And then they cry, and then they have this little feeling called hunger. We're born with the eating boundaries.
Yeah.
All I do, because that's a wonderful gift, all I do is take out the interference that
Yeah.
man has interfered with it, and we need to reconnect with those boundaries. We have a very strong start and a
Yeah.
stop of our eating boundaries. It's innate in all of us. I just take out the interference. I was given that gift of understanding.
Yeah. And take out the interference. It reminds me of a great quote from Michelangelo that he says, the sculpture is already there in the rock before I start chiseling. All I have to do is take away the superfluous rock.
Ah,
And that's kind of what you're describing. And that interference comes from where? It comes from culture, it comes from parents, it comes from self-doubt, and you're just chiseling away at that mess to get the people back to where they started. Is that right?
Right, because an infant's born, we're born with over 10,000 taste buds that
Mm,
were meant to guide us, to tell us what feels best for our body. We're unique individuals, but we start listening to all the research, and it doesn't mean that the research is wrong. It's just, but it keeps changing. So if you're
right,
going to follow all the research, it would be really confusing. So
right,
it's not that the research is wrong because you look at the studies and they've got the study. However, if somebody says in the research, they say shrimp is healthy, but when you eat it, you have a reaction. Who
right.
really is the ultimate authority?
That's
Your
right.
own
Great.
body. So I
Yeah,
start with that and I really teach them how to listen again to what really lets them feel good because that's
yeah,
what food was meant to. Food was meant to give us energy. It was never
yeah.
meant to drain our energy. It was meant
Right.
to give us physical energy along with pleasure. That's why we have taste buds.
Very good. All right, Shirley. Now let's discuss my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And I love it because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. And it creates this optimistic, gentle, but very powerful and continuous uplifting of my life day after day after day. So, Shirley, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
What's interesting when you were describing that, that's my process. It's like I teach people how to really listen and gather up that information. I can feel what I need to do next. I can feel how much energy I have, and it's increments. And so when I have people start this process, it starts with little increments, and they become very confident in being able to move from one moment to the next. Because my process is about moments. Because in that
Hmm.
moment, when you have that intense desire to eat, and then you check it out with your body and go, but I'm not hungry. We work with those moments and I'm with them 24/7. Basically, they can text me, they can get a hold of me because I need to
Mm,
catch them in that moment so we can do little stepping stones. And that's
yeah,
exactly what you were talking about, so that they get that in place and then they learn something else. And what's the beauty of the process is you can only go as fast as you can handle not
yeah,
eating when you're not hungry.
yeah, yeah. Very good. And with Kaizen, I added uh, a little bit to it. I said, because when you make a small incremental improvement, then hold it. Don't give it back. And I know in health journeys, that's often a problem. You go up and down, yo-yo, and you get stronger, and then you don't work out. So what do you think about Kaizen and holding on to that progress?
What you just described was I call ownership.
Mm,
And along the process, they continuously own what they do well. Because generally, when somebody is working through the process, and let's say that they eat more than what their body requires, and you feel horrible, well, all of a sudden they just throw everything out, like the whole day they
right.
ate. I said, did you really eat the whole day? No. So we're going to remember, and we're going to
Yeah.
hold on to when you weren't eating when you weren't hungry, and then you start realizing, oh my word, there were so many times in the day that I didn't eat when I wasn't hungry. So you hold on to it. It's
Mm,
ownership. And that's the other thing. They own this. I don't tell them what to eat because whoever owns the choice owns the power. And if you don't own what sustains your life, you don't own it. I want
right.
my clients to be empowered themselves. They need, and once they know that they can choose what they want that feels good to them, and that storage dissipates because they're cutting out the quantities, when they go through this, they own it. It's never coming back. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of the process.
One more thing, you piqued my interest. Do you know the term hara hachibu?
No, what is it?
It's Japanese and it means eat until you're 80% full.
Ah, yeah,
How does that relate to your gut brain?
oh, we're talking the same language because people would say, I can even show the audience because I use a hunger scale because hunger is a feel. You don't see it, you can't touch it. So I need to have something concrete like a hunger scale that they can see and they can compare. So the
Mm,
audience can just imagine on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 starved, 10 stuffed, 5 is the feeling of nothingness. That 5, that feeling means hunger has gone away.
Mm,
That's the stop. And when infants, like, how did an infant know when to
yeah.
stop eating? Well,
Yeah.
how do they know? The hunger had simply gone away. You're not
Yeah.
crowded, you're not full. When that little infant feels that hunger going away, they want to clench those little lips, they want to spit it, they want to throw it, and they don't care who you are
Right.
or how big you are or what degree you have or what diaper size they have. They simply want to stop eating.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Okay, let's move on to purpose. That's the second element of our happy formula. And I've observed that major life transformations, those really great big discoveries of purpose, often sadly come from devastation. Addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster, something awful strips a life to its core, resulting in a big and often unexpected change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process I've used to discover the purpose of my life using inspiration. So, how about you, Shirley? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the God given purpose you were meant to live?
Oh, mine was truly inspiration because growing up, I was a cheerleader. I wasn't like maybe 15 pounds heavier or whatever, but it was that angst. It was that internal angst. I thought, is this never going to stop? Is it never going to end? I could figure out grades. I could get the A. Well, then you were done with it. This stuff, if you sat and analyzed it with your head, it would just goes on, and there was this angst. And my turning point was when I started teaching. I looked at these young girls and I thought, oh my word, their whole day is destroyed by worrying about their body, worrying about what they ate, what they didn't eat. How do they even live their life? And that was my thought. I thought, no, there's something wrong with how we are doing things. We need to really understand it. And there were a couple more things that happened. I thought, okay, I'm going to figure this out. And I remember when I got married and I watched my husband, he'd eat and then he'd just walk away. And I said, aren't you thinking about it? Aren't you wondering, like, when am I going to eat next? He said, why would I? I'm done. I'm stopping. And
Yeah.
then when I watched our daughter, and she had that, like I talked about, that strong stop. And then she just wanted to go on and live her little life and learn and grow and do. And I thought, that's it. I am going to figure out once and for all how we reclaim what we were born with. And that's when I discovered it's about taking out the interference. But you need a
Mm,
process because what happens, because we're so into this diet mentality, that people think, oh, if I eat when I'm not hungry, I failed. No, with my process, never a failure. It's always something to learn. And eventually people become more curious. It's never a failure. It's like, oh my word, what else is in there? What else do I need
hmm
to learn? It's more about curiosity. It's
mm,
more about the feeling of feeling good because you're meant to feel good in your soul. Or there's a message that says, pay attention. So I need to understand something here. So the whole process is about feeling good, being inspired. So for me, the inspiration came from because I'm a teacher at heart. I really want people to get it because I know everybody owns it. There's not a soul out there that can't get this. And so if you don't understand it, don't be discouraged because there's always a reason why you're eating when you're not hungry. Always ask yourself, why? Go back to your body
hmm
because on that scale, you'll know. Because I know the audience that they could tell in a nanosecond what they were, what hunger number they were at, and it's innate in all of us. So my drive, my inspiration was I'm a teacher. I can't just tell people to do this. That doesn't work. They need to own it with their own choice. They create that ownership, but we need tools. And when I wrote the book in 91, can you believe I've been doing this a long
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
Wrote the book in 91. And since then, I've continuously developed more and more tools because I want to reach more people. But I don't want anybody slipping through the cracks. When I work with someone, I'm with them until they really get it, understand it. Then I
So,
was fortunate to create a course online, and that allows me to work with more people.
So you had the body angst yourself. You saw it in your students. You decided you wanted to do something about it. How did that manifest? Did you first start working and create the book and then the course and then coaching, or is that what happened?
No. When I was, because my background is in physical education and health, my undergraduate, my graduate, I was going to go on to a PhD, but and that was an important piece where I decided it's not going to be there. There's something else. I've got to figure this out on my own. And then hunger hit. I thought, okay, that is the answer. That is, but I've got to figure out how to get people there. So I worked with some researchers around the United States and Canada, whatever. They all knew that hunger was the answer. But how do we get people there? It needed a very detailed step by step so that people never felt like they failed. There was always information. So through the years, so when I decided, okay, I worked with a bunch of people. That's what's in my book. I mean, in fact, those are all real names. My publishing company about went crazy because they had to get the okay. But this is all reality. This is all truth-based. And so I had worked with people. All the stories are in there. But I knew that I needed more tools, and I would do it intuitively. That's just my gift. I can tell what I need to do next, the next step. So
Hmm.
they're always, always moving forward. There's never a failure. There's always, okay. And then eventually they start becoming curious. So as I developed more and more tools, I thought I need to develop a course, but I don't think I want it in a book. But then I was fortunate to, with all the media stuff and the technical and all that, I could really have a course where I could create videos. My course has over 60 videos. I've got handouts. I've tried to address every kind of teaching style, but I'm still with them all the way through because in that moment, you can't wait for a week for an appointment. That
Yeah.
moment is
Yeah.
important. I'm moment to moment because in that moment, when you have that strong desire to eat and you know you're not hungry, you need to understand. I don't let them go a couple days where they feel like, oh, I'm just 8 and 8 and 8 for 2 days or whatever. So
Hmm.
that was my inspiration, was to really develop really strong tools, important tools, so that they always knew there was a way to get through that to move forward.
Very good. All right. Thank you for that, Shirley. Now let's take a quick commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience.
Are you ready to transform your life? At happyliving.com, we've discovered 4 keys to help you live with purpose, joy, and significance. Unlock your truth with the Happy Quiz. Unlock your happy formula with inspiring stories from the Something Significant Show. Unlock your roadmap to happiness with our free ebook, Making Your Mark of Significance. And unlock your inspired life with our life-changing e-course, The Philosophy of You and Your Inspired Life. This is your time to shine. Go to happyliving.com now and click Unlock the Power of You. Unlock your power. Live your best life. happyliving.com.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Shirley Billigmeier. She's a transformational leader, educator, and creator of Innergetics, a mindful eating method that's been transforming lives for more than 40 years. Shirley empowers clients to honor their bodies, embrace abundance, and achieve lasting health without deprivation or willpower. Her innovative approach to weight loss helps people respect their bodies and break free from dieting cycles, inspiring them to live with vitality and balance. Oh, Shirley, I love that. And I think you're going to love this article that I found. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says the act of giving itself can be a gateway for discovering your reason for being on the planet. It says that the science tells us that giving our time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway to discovering purpose and overcoming difficulties and even finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So how about you, Shirley? Has
Oh,
giving
I
your
would
time, your talents, and treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties that you've faced and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Yeah. Well, it's the giving. That's the ultimate, because if I own it, and I'm the only one that owns it and I understand it, but I don't give it, if I don't share it, then there's no purpose. Then to me there's no purpose. And what I surface in people is their joy, because within all of us, that creative soul, when you really connect to it, that's where the joy is. But there's been so much interference with worrying about eating, worrying about weight. Well, that's within your body. And if you hate your body, how do you access your creative soul? How do you even access that joy? And I would always say to the audience, if you could take all the time and energy that you spent worrying about eating, wishing you were different sides, all of that, and you put it on the shelf and let your creative surface, your soul surface to do what you love to do and move forward. That's like when you think of that infant, the 2-year-old. They want to get up and move and learn and do. So it releases that excitement of moving forward into life. And without that extra drag, I hated that drag of, okay, is my weight going to stay off? Is it going to be off? Because it's not meant to have extra storage. That's for a famine. And I haven't heard of one coming yet. So we need to use the storage. That's what's really key. We're not meant to have it. That's not what it was for. Where there is no famine coming. So we don't need to store. And now we have all these storage ways of storing food, so we really don't need to store it on our body.
And so you mentioned your creative soul several times, and I figured out that that's really the magic is when you are living your life in a creative way. That's an expression of something deep inside you, your soul. You can say, and it doesn't matter if you're an auto mechanic that's tinkering around and figuring it out. You go in the garage and they don't even know you're there because they're so deep into it, and there's enthusiasm, which is what you're describing. And
Yes.
then so that's joyful. Your being in your creative soul is joyful, but then explain the joy that you get when you're giving from there to others and you see them change.
That's where, and when you describe it, because I love working with my clients, I get
Mhm.
so excited when they have their aha moments. That just the joy that they feel where they've never felt that for before. I get these words that, "Oh, I never even knew that I could just be calm around hunger.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that I didn't need to be frustrated with it. I just had a text from one of my clients and said, you know what? I don't think I've ever had lunch and stopped at a 5. She called, I mean, they get really detailed. It becomes like a 5.5 or something. And you said, I don't know. And I felt so
Uh,
light and enthused to just go into my afternoon. She said, I don't think I've ever felt that. I don't think
yeah.
I've ever been free to really live within my body and enjoy being in it and enjoying the taste of the food where I look forward to what I can eat and the next meal and the next time that I'm hungry, because you can always have what you want when you're hungry.
Yep, yep. So that the science tells us that giving to others helps bring real meaning to our lives, as you're describing there. And the joy we feel from our fourth element of significance, which is doing work that creates value for others, that confirms it. But there's something more to it, and we were kind of discussing it there, Shirley. I believe that the real magic of life comes when you're giving from living in your purpose, because it creates a profound joy, not just to those who are receiving, but to the giver too. So surely the audience and I'd like to know how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do, and the people all around you have taken notice. So I'd like you to sit back, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making on their lives by finding the magic of giving from living in your purpose. One person said, Shirley Billigmeier is a genius. She's helped more than 10,000 clients to reframe their relationships with food. Her process works from the inside out. She'll never tell you what to eat or when. Instead, she gives you tools to connect to your own body. Another said, Innergetics is the missing piece. It's the answer for the thing you've been carrying around within you that you want so much to understand. Another said, her program is all about choice and respect. When you connect to your gut brain, you uncover feelings that you've been smothering with food. You begin to understand your old beliefs and turn them around. Others said, wise, fabulous, phenomenal, enthusiastic, passionate, lovely, helpful, friendly, resourceful, practical, knowledgeable, profoundly powerful, soothing, mindful, wonderful. Thanks to what I've learned from her, I've been able to move beyond my fear that if I, being a survivor of multiple rapes, allowed my body to be beautiful again, I'd be tacked again. And finally, this person said, I look forward to spending the rest of my life with my body. So Shirley, how does all that incredible love make you feel?
That do I just get goosebumps because I can identify each person which one it is, and that incredible joy that they feel And they go on into the world like that. And one of my clients, she had a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old, and she is just amazed at how much the process helps her with her children. I mean, and so it's passing on. That's what I see. A lot of the people I work with, because they have that joy, they can pass that on.
Yeah, that's how giving works. And that's it, folks. That's what this show is all about. It's encouraging you to find that magic in your lives. It's available for all of us. That's what I believe. And it comes from this great big happy circle. Giving your time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway to discovering your purpose. And giving from living in your purpose brings a profound joy to your life and to the lives of those around you. And as Shirley just mentioned, and they spread it around with their people around them too. So it seems that giving leads to purpose and giving from purpose leads to joy. So surely to capture the entire exponential power of our happy formula, I've got to tweak it just a tiny bit more. See how this sounds. Power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power, and that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
That sounds perfect. That feeling of that happiness, it's within. It's
Yeah,
within. And that's why it's so
100%.
important to really love being within. It's like I said, if you don't take care of your body, or you don't love being in your body, where are you going to live? It's the place that you live 24/7.
Yeah.
Love it, enjoy it, be in it.
Very good. All right, let's wrap things up with the lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and have you tell us what they mean to you. And just give us the first thing that pops into your mind, Shirley, because we call this a lightning round. So here we go. This is from George William Curtis. He said, happiness lies, first of all, in health.
In health or help?
Health, health,
Health, yes, yes.
being healthy.
Because that's what I always say, because if you don't have your health, what do you have? You need to be in your body to know what to do to be healthy. That's
Yeah.
the wisdom.
This one's an Ayurvedic, I always have a hard time with that word, an Ayurvedic proverb. When diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When diet is correct, medicine is of no need.
That's why when you listen to, I mean, everybody's heard of the wisdom of the body. We were, like I said, born with 10,000 taste buds. We were born with the boundaries of eating. If we just stop listening.
Mm-hmm. Very good. From Mahatma Gandhi, he said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
I always say connect to yourself and then find your purpose. Then that purpose allows you to help others. But you need to really be able to connect. And if you can't connect, it's difficult to really find your purpose.
Mm-hmm. Very good. From Mark Nepo, he said, the flower, I love this one. The flower doesn't dream of the bee. It blossoms and the bee comes.
Create it and they will come.
From Marianne Williamson, she said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
I call that empowerment. And there's a calm to it. There's like a calm joy. It's within.
Very good. And finally, this is our show anchor, and it comes from Goth. And he said, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
I work with that movement forward. What's creating that feeling of being stuck? Because life is about moving forward. We're always moving forward. And so if you feel that, like you become, like people will say, I feel paralyzed, I feel stuck or whatever, there's always a reason and there's always a way to create that movement forward. It comes from within.
From within. That's it. And now, folks, it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you were inspired by today's show with Shirley Billigmeier, please share a little love with our fabulous broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Shirley, I love the way you empower people to honor their bodies and embrace a life of abundance. And I admire your unwavering dedication to helping others achieve lasting health and balance through mindful eating. And I'm super happy that you've shared your abundant, transformative, and inspiring spirit on our show today. Will you please take a moment or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Just always know that joy does lie within. And with this whole energetics process, it just recaptures that forgotten joy of really tasting food and absorbing, really being excited about being engaged in living life, and to really be able to put aside the worry of eating. Eating was meant to give us energy. It was never meant to drain our energy.
Thank you, Shirley. I can hear a lot of people out there saying, man, if that's true, my life's about to get a lot better.
You got that right.
All right. Thank you, Shirley. And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Shirley and reaching folks just like you ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Shirley Billigmeier. Find her, friend her, read her Mindful Bite blog, download a free copy of her book, and sign up for a free 30-minute session. You'll find all the links in the show notes. And from me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and click Unlock Here and begin unlocking the life you are meant to live, one of purpose, joy, and significance. And as you unlock your truth and your formula and your roadmap and your inspired life, please give some thought about what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.